Hello everyone, Joe from Central Jersey Conrail and Englishtown. Welcome back. So this time on the scenery playlist, we're going to be working down in Englishtown. I'm going to take you back to some older footage and show you how we got started, and then I'll bring you up to speed and what we've done so far. So why don't you sit back, relax, and watch this video, and I'll talk to you afterwards. Okay everyone, so here we are going back to April of 2019. This is when I started installing the base for the scenery here in Englishtown. So I want to take you back and show you how I did that. So here I'm building risers out of foam and then cutting the flat piece to go on top. And then I'm going to glue it all together with PL 402, which is a foam safe glue that comes in a caulk gun. And you know, I'm watching this video thinking back, and I'm pretty sure I'm doing this right before one of the op sessions because I just want to fill in some areas, you know, to make it look a little better for the operators. So now I'm just moving around, working on cutting out pieces of foam that'll fit in kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, and just mounting them up and then gluing them in. You know, so when I'm working with the foam, I really like the PL 402. It works really well. It doesn't eat away at the foam. When it dries nice and hard, and it's real stable. So I needed a flexible ruler to kind of like bend and make my curvatures on the foam. So I just grabbed a piece of Romex and kind of bent it into the shape I needed, and then traced it onto the foam. Really neat little solution to the problem. So once I get it glued in, I just weigh it down with whatever objects I can find and hold it down, and let it dry overnight. So now I'm coming and installing the grade crossings. It was another thing for the operating session. I wanted the operators to see where the road crossings were, so they can kind of operate realistically. So that's why I'm putting them in now. And it just kind of makes sense before you get going with any track work and all that. I want to put all these in. Road crossings are from woodland scenes. Alright, so here we are 2 years later, and it's time to start putting everything together here. So first thing I did is I pulled the mock-up buildings off, cleaned it off real good, and vacuumed it. Now I'm going to come up with some Sculptamold, and I'm going to blend in all these panels, because you can see there is some variation in the height, and that's okay, but I just wanted the seams nice and smooth, so when we put on ground cover it doesn't show through. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm using Sculptamold. I've really learned to appreciate Sculptamold for all of scenery work for model raring. Getting better at using it and making it up. Just mix it up so that it's kind of like a little damp. I like to think of it almost like tuna fish, just like when you mix mayonnaise in a tuna fish, and I think that's a good consistency. Gives you plenty of working time. I find if you mix it a little on the watery side, it actually has a shorter working time. I don't know if that's just me or if that's how it's designed. So. So to prepare for painting the track, I'm going to come in here and put in my scale ties to fill in the gaps where the rail joiners are. So I'm just going ahead and insert them in. I want to get them in place. I'm going to use some liquid CA and glue them down. And then when you paint them up, they look really good. Okay, so here we are getting started painting the backdrop. Definitely made the decision I'm not going to be skipping every other scene with clouds. I'm doing clouds all throughout. I really like the effect. It just really adds to the scene. We're using Badger Model Flex Reefer White and Primer Gray. First thing I'm going to do is come in here and lay down my base. You can see I put the haze down along the horizon. I really like how that blends everything together. And I'm coming in just laying in my clouds. Really becoming comfortable with doing this. I really like the way it comes out. I love the whole process of doing it. I find the best way to do it is to just work in sections, and then like I'll come in and paint for 10-15 minutes, and then I'll step back, and then I'll paint for 10-15 minutes and stop and step back and look at it and then go back and just keep adding layers and layers, and it really adds to the depth of the cloud and makes the effect. And then I come in with the primer gray here. You can see I'm putting in the bottoms of the clouds to give them shadowing, and then I'll come back with the white and fade it. So it's just a process working it, and it takes time. Don't rush it, and I really like the way it comes out. You'll notice I'll step back and I'll look at an area and I'm like, that just doesn't look right. So now I'm like right here, I'm coming in, I'm just gonna add some more clouds and bring it up and pull it down, and just work with it, and it really comes out. The one thing about painting clouds is, model raring is very exact and precise, but when it comes to clouds, there is no right answer. You just look, everything is totally different. So that's why it's kind of your chance to be very creative and just do what feels right to you. Okay, so now we're going to get started painting the track. I'm using Model Flex Rail Brown. I'm just going to come in here with the airbrush and I'm just going to paint everything. You know, so at first glance it may seem unnatural to come in here and put all this time into putting in all this track work and spend all the money and then to come and paint it. But, you know, it really does make a difference. At first, when I first tried it, I wasn't too sure, and then as I moved on throughout the layout, I was like, yeah, painting the track definitely makes a huge difference. So I just marked out the road location so I can remember where I laid out the roads. And then we're going to start painting the scenery base. I'm just coming here with apple barrel. I'm using burnt umber and another brown, which I can't remember. So, you know, this section here is really why I built this layout. I wanted Englishtown. I wanted to model it. It meant so much to me because, you know, I grew up there. I went to high school there. I was in the fire department. So many good memories. But also having, you know, the railroad go through Englishtown really influenced my modeling. You know, that's why I like Conrail, because I want to model what I saw. You know, I was always down at the tracks watching the trains go up, you know, 3 times a week. And consequently, that's why I like modeling, you know, the low density branch lines, because that's what I always watched. So, yeah, very happy that I'm back to working on the layout and I'm building this section. Very happy and excited to see how it's going to come out. So, you know, once you get the paint on the foam and the white plaster, it really helps you visualize what you want to do and where you're going. It just, you know, having that brown represent the dirt really kind of puts it in perspective and makes it easier. You'll see at the end when you see the pictures, it really makes sense. That's going to wrap it up for this time. All right, so there you go. That's how we did it. Yeah, very pleased with the way the Englishtown's turning out. So let's talk about some of the structures. Agway was scratch built. That building took a considerable amount of time. There was a lot of like technical problems with that building that kind of tripped me up. Building the silos, getting it to fit through that roof because it is an unusual type of design. And then it's got the asphalt roof shingles. Those I just printed out off of a website and then glued them on. It wasn't perfect, at the ridge line. You may have noticed a little bubbling, but that's the best I could do. Triangle lumber, there were two basic structures there. The main building where the lumber was kept, it's like concrete on the bottom, and then it's got siding up there. So I think I represented that really well. And then a little office that's right there by the front. And then eventually that whole property is enclosed in with a chain link fence. So that's where we're headed with that one. And then Englishtown Firehouse, obviously I wanted that on the layout. The only thing is Englishtown Firehouse, if you look at it on the map, there's actually another building before the railroad tracks, but I kind of omitted that and moved it up so it would fit on the layout. And then the house, that's another Atlas Cates Colonial. I just painted it up different colors. There was on Park Avenue, right past the Agway, there was a row of houses there before you got to South Main. So that's kind of what I'm representing there. Yeah, so it's pretty amazing. You're standing there looking at all the pink and white, and it kind of detracts you from kind of envisioning everything. But it seems like once you paint it brown or the earth tones, it kind of just like it quiets your mind. So you're now can focus on putting the scene together. So once I put that paint down, I was like, oh yeah, it looks so much better, and I'm able to like concentrate now. So as I indicated in the video, I'm very happy that I'm doing Englishtown. I'm able to get this into the layout, and because that's where I grew up. And seeing it all come to life on the layout, it's very rewarding. So yeah, very happy to be doing that. So what can you expect in the future coming up on the scene is, one thing is I'm going to be putting in Logic Rail's railroad crossing signal system. This area here was pretty neat, is when the circuit was tripped by the train coming in, both 527A and Mechanic Street were all tied together. So their signals all operated together. So that's what we're going to be doing with that, and add a little animation to the scene. Also, in the next coming episode for Englishtown, we'll be doing the roads. We'll be putting in the road system interlinking it into Monmouth Battlefield. And then we'll be putting in lights, and I'm going to be doing some more easy line poles. I'm going to let the easy line come across the track over at Mechanic Street because there's no switching involved, and I don't think they'll impede on uncoupling cars with your tools or anything like that. So that's what you can expect there. So now next month we're going to be heading down to Monmouth Battlefield. Now, Englishtown's not totally finished, but I need to skip ahead because, as I've indicated, the way the roads are looking on the layout, I want to keep them as prototypical as possible, but I want them to make sense. So I don't want like the road 522 coming off Monmouth Battlefield and going into trees, because I just can't make it fit any other way. So that's why I need to get Battlefield done so we can put all the roads from Englishtown down and make them all look like they belong. On a side note here, I must say it's great to be back in front of the camera making videos, and I apologize, it may seem like a little rocky start, but you have to realize it seems like I'm doing this for the first time again. So I like sitting down in front of the computer editing, I'm like, oh yeah, this is how we do this, and this is how we do it. So I may miss some things that I used to do, or things may change, and it's a learning experience. But yeah, I'm just very glad to be putting videos together for you and putting them out. So that's all I really have for you this time. So if you're seeing this video for the first time and you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel because we'd love to have you following along. Don't forget to check us out next month when we do Monmouth Battlefield. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram because I'm always posting daily updates of all the progress down here in the layout. And otherwise, that's all I have for you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.